Today is a new day, oh, and I'm thankful. No time for regrets, no, no, but I'm hopeful. So many didn't get a chance, nah, nah. So be grateful. Hey, things might not go my way, but me not complain. Life is a blessing, me I stay thankful.
Hey, listen up. This is Jerry Harris, S.P.R Radio Podcast Show. Check it out with 10-star General and Sharon Mango. A live conversation show. Check it out. Don't left it out. Oh yeah. Hey, S.P.R Radio Podcast. S.P.R Radio Podcast with 10-star General and Sharon Mango. Yeah, S.P.R Radio Podcast. S.P.R Radio Podcast. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Yes. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Now. Yes, S.P.R Radio Podcast with 10-star General and Sharon Mango. Check it out.
Well, all I can say is, Sly, welcome to the SPRB radio family. Can you have fun?
I say.
Greetings, everyone. Greetings, greetings, greetings. I'm your host, 10-star General, alongside my co-host all the way down there in New Jersey. Hopefully she'll be here very, very soon. Sharon,
Yes, sir.
how are you doing?
I'm all right. Slight headache, but it's going now. I'm having sea moss in my a little mixture. Big cup.
Good, good. I think I've got my cup of tea. Nice big mug. All right. I don't do my things in halves, you know. I like my things them big cup. You see it?
Yeah. What do you say? My
Right.
big cup doing? Mine is bigger than
Yeah.
yours.
So today we are going to be having a discussion with a phenomenal singer-songwriter. All right. Before we get into who we are going to be having a conversation with, because I don't like the word interview. So we're going to have a conversation about length and breadth of his, the beginning of his career to where he is today. Right.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
But I want to get into the habit of, first and foremost, asking our subscribers to like and subscribe. Get them to do that for us, Sharon.
Yes, please. Beautiful people. So happy whoever's here today. And we would ask that you like, subscribe, and please hit that notification bell. Let us know you're enjoying the shows.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And I want to big up, before we do that, I'll tell you what. We have a brethren who is down there in Jamaica at the moment. His name is Big Stone. As you know, he's been suffering stage 4 prostate cancer. And we are urging all males from the age maybe late 30s to 40s and onwards to get your prostate checked. Okay?
Please.
It's very, very important. Some people are getting their prostate checked at the last minute where there's no hope for them. You know what I mean? So this is what I want to do. All right? Take a listen to this.
Yeah.
Yo, this is King Lock again, and this is my appeal. Yeah, hear me? Man, dash where your pride and get your prostate check. Yeah, hear me? Come and say dash where your pride and get your prostate check. Yeah, hear me now? Yo, this is King Lock, and I'm appealing to all my brothers over the age of 40. Please, go get your prostate check.
Yes, we're urging you to please get your prostate checked. It's a simple test and it will tell you, what you need to know so you can make the right decisions over your life. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to put that out there. We're going to be playing that message before we start each show in the future. And once again, we really urge you to get your prostate checked. So it's all about raising the awareness of prostate cancer. All right. Too many of us are dying from this horrible, deadly disease. Get your prostate checked. Do not die out of ignorance. All right. So we're going to proceed. The second thing I want to do is thank a lady called Natalie from Sky Voice Records. She is the person responsible for reaching out to me since last year to have this conversation with DeVare. We've only just been able to get round to having him on our show today, and it brings me
Mm-hmm.
great joy to bless up Natalie. So Sharon, bless up Natalie for me.
Natalie, big up yourself. Thank you so much for this opportunity. We so appreciate it. This is a phenomenal artist. And we just want to give him his flowers, let people know. Spread the awareness. If people don't know, you're going to know about him today. Right? 10 star.
Mhm.
You're going
Yeah,
to know about
tell
him
you.
today. Mm-hmm.
Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is our guest all the way down there. I'm assuming he's down there in the United States of America. All right. Originally from Jamaica, he is DeVare. DeVare.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and all the people who are on got in bed. Good night.
Yes, sir.
Big up for the Sam, Sharon Mango. How
I
is New
mean,
Jersey with all
really,
that cold, man? I hear New Jersey is
oh
supposed
my
to get cold this
God, man, we
weekend.
got hit last night.
Is that the reason you got
Wait,
that big cup?
Yeah.
Is that the reason you got that ginormous cup I saw you with?
Yes, that is me. Till I see myself.
You know, but don't feel bad because 10 star, he's got one over there as well. 10 star general,
what?
big up
What?
yourself for that. Because
Yeah.
he advised me, and I
What?
went and got myself up as well. You see that?
There you
Mm,
go.
mine is big. Wait. And I can see it. What
Hello
is it?
world, hello world. Big up Natalie. You don't know, yeah.
All right. We also want to big up Natalie. Blessings, blessings, blessings to Natalie. Once again, she is the beautiful empress who made this show happen. She reached out to me
Beautiful
since
Natalie.
last year, 2023. Can you believe it? And we're only just getting round to him. So when she reached back to me, and I blame her on that color thing around here,
I don't know
the
what you're talking
grays,
about
the,
now.
pl- the
Yeah.
platinum is. And
Well, no,
I
that's
blame her on the platinums. So when she reached out to me in 2024, I said, "Oh Jesus, let's go, let's do this." And
Let's do
here he
this,
is.
right? Let's
So
do this, right?
I'm glad you're here, and I'm thanking Natalie for her persistence in making this happen. I also want to bless up all the Kenyan massive. I want to bless up King Natiman.
mm-hmm.
Down there in Kenya, who does a lot on our behalf also. Bless up Coral, bless up so many people out there
Yes.
who stay tuned in, Sparky Melody, bless up yourself, and bless up anybody whom I
Okay.
cannot say. But the Kenya Massive, bless up yourself. All right.
Yes.
So let's get into
Yeah,
our
man. As a matter of
conversation.
fact, Star, now that you said that, I want to also take a
Mm,
couple of seconds and bless up all of the supporting staff of shows like this, smaller
yeah.
arenas where people are unaware of the fact that it takes a lot of work to get this thing, and it's a lot of
Yeah.
wheels that are in motion, and synchronizing them can be, an arduous task. It can sometimes take a whole lot of work, and so I
Yes.
want to big up all of the people that are involved to get us to where we are right now. Bless up on yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to everyone for being here. Once again, if you're just joining us, help us to like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to help us subscribe so we can build our channel. We don't do our things by heart. We really, do have a good time having a conversation with our artist. And you can find us on YouTube, okay? Just type in SPRB Radio Podcast and subscribe to our channel. We're trying to up the numbers, all right? So this is something new we're delving into. We've gone from doing it on the radio to now doing it on the YouTube. All right. So we don't need to put up the numbers. So thank you. So we're going to get into our conversation with DeVare. Once again, thank you for being here. Which region are you in right now?
I just landed in Miami on, what is it today? On Thursday. So I think, the day after Valentine's, Crash Wednesday, I landed in Miami. I'll be here for a few days and then I'm out again.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, good. We're just going to dive right into it. And I was reading up about you, and the very first time I came to hear about you, I'm assuming it was in 2023, early 2023. And there was a gentleman, for the life of me, I know the guy, but his name escapes me. He was the first person that I heard call your name. DeVare, and the track that I heard was Love's Natural High. We're going to get into that a little bit later. I heard that tune and I said to myself, that is the true essence of song. You see, when a person can write a love song and it resonates with your hamstrings, is it heartstrings or hamstrings? Whichever it is. Listen, when a tune resonates with you, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, Lord have mercy.
You know something? I want to segue. I'm going to grab the mic from you and segue into something that's going to actually let it resonate all the way down to your hamstrings, right? And one of the main reasons is there are three of us here, and me being the guest, and we have a co-host and a host, and we're talking about this. It would be a very great presentation to put it in this manner. So how about I'm at work one day, right? And for some reason, like a power unknown to me tells me to turn around. So I turn around and there are two people. They're coming down the road and they come up to what you call in England zebra crossing or pedestrian crossing in the US, right? And as they come up to this place, the gentleman he stops, he stops, and then he leaves for a minute, and she stands there. He goes away. And as he's coming back, I can tell that the female feels the presence of the male, and she kind of just loops her hand, and his hand just slides right through. So he stops the car, gets out of the car, walk with her, and tell her, "Wait for me right here." You see what I mean? That kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And I'm watching these two people like, "Yo, this I feel right from the start, brother." Because I'm presuming these people are well in age. They're probably together 30, 40 years, 50 years, right? And I'm thinking to myself, "Oh, if this is so, it's like a well-oiled machine." You follow me, 10-star? It's like you're just watching this thing unfold, almost like you're watching a movie and it's scripted, yeah. And I'm like, oh, this gotta be some amazing thing, brother. And so I didn't have I knew I could write, but I didn't have a equipment to write with, because back then phones wasn't like no, right? So I get on the phone and I call up wifey and I say, yo, hey, do me a favor, right? So I'm gonna leave this message on your machine. When I call you back, don't answer. Just let the machine ring, right? So it goes into the machine and I go, it was right from the very start. When you were deep in our heart, this love was meant to be. But then I was stuck. There was nothing else. And so I go, da 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 da, to keep the melody going, right?
Yeah.
And the next couple of minutes, brother, my phone ring. Hello? What in the world is that? Da 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 da.
Yo,
man, that was one of the funniest. I said, but you wasn't supposed to listen to that.
Right.
It's my machine. I can listen to whatever I want. And I got the speech, so I had to do.
Right.
Yeah, listen, man. So it's amazing how things like that just come together. And once I get back to the song, it just flows. You know what I mean? So it's one of those little things I had to tell you for you to get a backstory on how that song came about.
Right.
Wow.
I find that, if you don't write the melody down quick, or record the melody and you lose it, oh Jesus,
It's
you
gone.
know. So
It's
what
gone.
do you do to keep the melody? Do do you have something nearby where you can just record the melody? Is that what you do?
Yeah, so now I have a phone that records. I have an
Mm,
iPhone and it records. So back in the early
mm.
days of smartphones, I sent back a BlackBerry Pearl because of that. They did not come with the ability to record. So I couldn't have that because I used to walk around. You know the old time little thing that they shove in your face, right? They say,
Yeah,
"Hey, 10 star. So what do you think about DeVare?" And they shove it in your face. This little recorder. It's a mini. And I used
yeah,
to walk around with one of those and the phone in my pocket. It was too much. So I got rid of
yeah.
that and got an
Hmm.
iPhone which actually does the recording, so I could just grab it and
Right,
lock the idea in my head. Yeah.
right. Okay. So let's get into the early where you come from. Share with us, what family life was like growing up. Where did you grow up, and what was it like growing up in a family of where you come from? What was it like growing up in a family household?
All right. So when I was about 3 years old or so, my parents went separate ways. So I grew up in a split environment, but I didn't know my father and mother. So it wasn't like I was growing up fatherless. It's just that I lived with one and I spent a lot of holidays with the other type of environment.
Ooh,
The environment was in a Christian home. So
yeah.
basically home base was with mom
Mm,
and my aunt and my grandmother. So it was three of us, and I had one cousin that lived with us because that's just the way it was. This one particular cousin lived with us in the
mm,
house, and then the other cousins would visit. So we all shared that same space. It was me, an older brother, and a younger cousin. Then later on, a few years later, I had two sisters, but they didn't live in the same house with me. You see what I
okay.
mean? We
Hmm.
kind of shared the same environment because the homes were close. It was just a
Mm,
walk from here to there. You could almost shout and hear from one house to the other. So we grew up in
yeah.
that environment. So it was very tight knit, and a lot of love flew through that little knit. That makes me say I was never poor, even though I was not financially capable like a lot of other people. You see what I mean?
Mm,
But I don't
yeah.
consider myself poor because my grandmother raised us to not believe that you're poor until you're poor in health and mental status. That is where poor
Mhm.
comes from. So ghetto is in the mind. It's really not physical capability
Mm.
to afford. So I was
Like
raised
that.
understanding that one teach one, each one help one, and we make this when we all do it as one. So we made it
Right.
work. So that was my growing up environment. The outside of the house, it was where we didn't really participate much other than in the games with the other kids, like play football and things like that. But it wasn't much outside of that. There wasn't much allowed because of the strong Christian beliefs of the family. So we never really got involved. But then there was the river, and boy Pitney will love the riverside, and we'll go catch fish, and that type of thing. And everybody
Right.
ate. So that's how it was. Community was big, yes.
What was the political situation like around about the time you were
So
growing up in?
in the 80s there was political violence, and in the village that I lived, they named it Vietnam because it was a rough place, but we didn't
What?
see
Wow.
so much of it because, yeah, man,
That's
they
me.
didn't
That's
they didn't
big.
mess with church people. Go ahead,
Mm,
Sharon. I'm sorry.
That's a big statement.
Yes, the
Vietnam.
name yeah, they call it Vietnam because this is in the 80s, and you're talking about when there was a lot of political strife, but not being from the inner city, we didn't see so much of it. But then each little section there were factions, so we didn't get involved because nobody bothered the church boys. You know what I'm saying? Nobody bothered the church kids. So it
mm,
was a way to escape. Nobody would even try to initiate you in a gang because you're a church boy. You're soft, you're considered soft, you're a nobody, so you're harmless. So we never got
yeah.
involved in that. On the other
Yeah.
side of that coin, though, there are a few people who got the opportunity to go foreign because of this
Mhm.
whole political affiliation, and we lived long enough to
Mm.
see quite a few of them come back in some boxes. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Mhm.
that was
Mhm.
a reminder that that was not the road to walk if you wanted to live long. So you get rich and you die quick. You know what I mean? So
Wow.
it wasn't for anyone from my family.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sharon, step in and chime in.
So St. Thomas, beautiful parish, though. Such a beautiful
you.
parish where you're from.
Thank you.
Of course, I got family there, right? Me up north. Well, I always go. When I go to Jamaica, I'm always there. So, you know, my aunts and them that way. But,
There you
sir,
go.
at that time in your life, though, as strict as everything was, what did you aspire to be during that time? What did you want to be?
Okay, so I'm gonna say something that's a cold truth, right? There were almost no aspirations because growing up in a Christian family at that time and before 1999, that was the focus. So it was almost like at 1999, the world is over. So to be truthful, because I don't make up stories, right? I tell it
Wow.
like to be truthful, it was almost no reason to aspire. We were so close to this whole thing of 99 that it's basically live today, live for as long as you can, live your best life because you're going to meet your maker coming soon. So that is what I was raised on. It wasn't until I was an adult and I
Wow.
moved to the city that I
Wow.
started to see outside of the box. And it's a cold truth. And it might offend some people because they don't understand. But my walk was such that I never even thought I would drive a car. I never thought I would live long enough to even say, okay, to accumulate enough to build a house, because it wasn't something to look forward to. What was there to look forward to was to be at peace with God and go home and sit on the right hand side of God. And that was all there was. And so that's how I was raised. I'm not going to lie about it. That's how I was raised. So
I'm so
that's
happy
where it's at.
I'm very happy that you said that because there are a lot of people, Caribbeans and others around the world. I know some over here.
Here's the thing about truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Truth is relative, you know. And so a person's truth is their truth for whatever the reason. You see, man, as a 10 star, the reason that you come to your conclusions are your own inner reasons, either by force or by choice. Those are the two ways that it works. You see what I'm saying? So what happens is if you get to be in a situation by force, one of your major concerns is repercussions. You see what I'm saying? That's one of the main things why a lot of people cannot be themselves, you know, the kickback that's going to come off of whatever it is that they do or say. And that creates a fear. And through that fear, what they do is them just conform. So them just become one of thee. And that's it. Whatever word follow thee, they just become one of. And that's all there is to them. So it's like an empty shell. Oh, yes, master. Follow the leader. Yes, master. Yes, master. And that's it. And they never step outside the box.
Wow.
There is a lot like that, but I'm so happy you spoke your truth because whether people take offense to it, yes or no, it's the truth. It has affected so many people that they don't go any further. They don't think that or everything around you or all the other stuff is means nothing. It's just they're not going anywhere. But you make sure you're good with God and blah. It's the wrong teaching.
Yes.
I'm sorry to say, it's not the correct. That's not what God teaches. That's not what the word means. But everybody interprets the word differently. And it's tough when you instill that. Right. It's improper teaching. I'm sorry, but it's been happening for some time. A lot of people are now.
I know you're right because the nostalgia is still there. When I drive through, okay, like so, I drive to my grandmother's house. Okay, and when I drive to my grandmother's house, it's like I drive to the house and I look at the house before I get out of the car, and I'm like, wow. I remember the first time I saw a car down this lane, because it's a lane, one car lane, and I drive down to the bottom of the lane. And when I drive, because we're at the very end, and when I drive, before I get out of the car, I had to absorb it all in because of all of this rush of vibe that kept coming at me that short time. Because the only time you used to see this is when your uncle come from foreign, brother. You remember? Your uncle would have come from foreign, and then car would have smelled so good. It smelled so sweet, like some foreign soap.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Continue, Sharon. Wow. Continue. I know you're making points.
At what age now did the thought process change that maybe I could be something?
Okay, so it actually came about long after the musical part, long after the maybe I could be something. Because what happened is that when I went to the city, I got the opportunity to migrate in the 80s, in the late 80s, right? So right before Hurricane Gilbert, which is 1988, I migrated. So I had a chance now to actually really see the world at a young age, young enough to make a plan and old enough to understand what's going on around me. You understand? Because back
Okay.
then Jamaica was referred to as a third world country. You understand? It was
Yes.
all the time in your
Yes.
ear. You're hearing third world country, third world country, third world country. So
True.
I step off a
True.
plane in Miami and I see 3 lanes going in one direction. And I'm like, this must be the heaven they spoke about because no road can so wide. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like in this car, and I'm like, I'm riding on air. It was a Lincoln Continental, and it's like I'm riding on air. It was a 2-door with a little oval window in the back. It must have been
Yeah,
about
those are big
you
cars.
remember them car, like 80 or something like that car. And I'm riding in the back and I'm just like floating on air. And I'm looking around me and the vastness is getting to me. So you can just imagine I was impressionable, right? So I'm in this country and I get this opportunity and I told myself I'll never waste it. I will never ever waste such an opportunity to see such a big world. I got to make something of myself. So that's where the make something of myself came in, right? No trade, have 5 CXC, 1 O level, 1 A level, and I don't know what to do with it. I'm young, I don't know where to go, what direction. And I started off in construction. And as I was doing this, I realized that there are some things that I'm good at naturally with my hands. And I'm starting to say, yo, you got to do something with this, and you got to do something with this. But the opportunity is expensive. I can't afford it, not quite yet. So time went on, and come around 1994, I graduated from college. That was the biggest move that I ever made because it says to me, yes, you can be someone. And I started out doing my own thing after about a year and a half of working for somebody. You see what I'm saying? So it started to say to me that if you want to put roots down and solid foundation, because by now I have a daughter. I'm 24 years old. I have a daughter, and I'm thinking life. Now I could always. I grew up singing. I grew up in an environment where my sister plays keyboards. You know, I was always in church and stuff, so I knew how to sing, but I didn't know how to make a life. That is what I wanted to understand. How do I do this? Where do I go from here? You understand? And so I started to pick up this traction when I came to England on an invite from someone who heard me singing in the supermarket, right? And it took me some time. I did this thing. And when I did this thing, I learned that I knew how to write. It happened on a whim. It was not a plan.
Right.
So you see how that happened? It was not me sitting there going, oh, you know, I want to be the next, whatever. I never wanted to be the next anyone. I just wanted to provide for my child and see to it, say, she's never hungry because pick me not understand that me hungry and you turn around and go, you know, so they don't have nothing. They don't know what that means. Them just most of them hungry. So I focused on that. And with an engineering degree, I built myself a business. So I started to make my own waves. Right? I started to make my own waves. One day someone applauded me without me realizing that they were there. I was just appeasing myself, just singing. And right there was almost like you could say it's an epiphany. It's something saying to me, you've got to do this. You've got to do this. You've got this package. And the package is so much more significant than the package that other people have, because none of them can write a word or make any sense. It's incoherent nonsense. Enough of them can't hold a note. If you wrap it up in a file paper, put it in a cellophane, put it in a plastic bag, and then put it in an arm in a knapsack and get them can't carry a note. You understand me? I was like, hold up, man. You can't waste 2 talents into this thing. And if you could let someone hear you and you can move someone, then you are everyone. And that is how the whole thing. So it was a journey, Sharon. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't that thing where I'm aspiring to be the next great big thing, nothing like that. It was never, it still isn't. Just that I have this message that sometimes come to me, yeah? And when it does, a lot of times it come in appreciation of a woman. It just happens to be that. You understand? Just like milk happens to be milk. Milk is not lemonade. It's milk. You see what I'm saying? And they serve 2 different purposes altogether. You see? So that's where it's at in my mind, is that you have this thing, share it with the world. And look where I'm at. I'm right here sharing it with the world. So I've got to say I made it. It's not about the money. I did make it. I started on the journey. I didn't know anyone. I didn't know anything. And look, I'm here speaking to 2 people and the world at the same time. So that is where it's at.
All right. I want to take you back slightly. How did you get from Jamaica now to the US? How did that process take place?
Okay, so my paternal grandmother was living in the US for a while at the time. And
Hmm.
she decided that she was going to file for her children. And under that type of a filing, it comes under your children and your children's children under the age of 21. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that is how
Hmm.
I fell under an umbrella. It was not something that I went out seeking.
Right. Okay.
Mhm.
So now you land in Jamaica, and then by chance you're having these experiences, especially where writing and songs are concerned. What
Mhm.
step do you take in order to advance that mind thought you're having? Where was your mind?
Okay, so there is this place that I refer to as my cave, and I consider that place to be where I'm untouchable. Nothing in this world could touch me there. It's where I escape all of the claws and the traps and the snares and everything that the world may throw at anyone that's listening to the
Hmm.
sound of my voice. That's where I escape.
Yeah.
Now, that place, I sometimes don't open the door and enter. It just happens that
Mm.
the environment around me, regardless of what it is, says, "Hey, come on in here, have a cuppa and relax." So
Hmm.
whenever that comes, remember I mentioned earlier that I keep a recorder with me. I don't predict this. It just
Hmm.
happens. When I get invited into that place, even if I'm standing there working among 50 people, they're almost insignificant, other than I'm not going to turn around with a blade in my hand and poke it right through somebody. I'm aware of my
Hmm.
surroundings, but also
Yeah.
inside of my mind, there is this place that I go that you can't
Mm.
touch me there. You can't
Right.
touch me in the space at all. So that's how it
Mm.
works.
Okay. Okay. Sharon.
That's where you get your inspiration. So this room, this cave. Would you say that this cave, when you're there, you get your inspirations? And do you pray in there? But like what? When you're in there, when DeVare is in that room, is it a place where you can pray or just allow things to come to you? Like, what is the process in this room? Because it reminds me of a story or movie that I watched, and I think the name of the movie was War Room. And this
Mhm.
room, all they do in there, they go in there and they talk to God, pray, write notes to themselves. Like, how does that
Mhm.
work? How does that room work for you?
Well, it was the latter that you mentioned. The way how it works for me is that I go in there to listen. I go in there to listen to the sound of silence. In other words,
Mm,
when someone says the sound of silence, a lot of people don't understand that your best learning time is when you shut your mouth.
yes,
That is the time
true.
when you learn the most. You just shut up and absorb what you're being told, what's being introduced to you. Uh, there might be questions that are unanswered, and then you will find that there is a self that's inside of the self that's asking those questions. Who am I? Why am I here? Why is it that you did not think it was okay to help that person that you saw begging in the subway? Why is it that you felt like you should give this other guy $20 when you did not give that other guy $1? And these questions, they come to you and you answer them. I don't think it's a case of meeting with your spirituality, because your spirituality is something completely different that subjects you to your needs. It asks you to
Right.
give of yourself. I don't think this
Mm.
is a
Mm,
case. This is a case of you're getting. So you're here to get your cup filled. You can equate it to going to a service and listening to the sermon. You don't participate in the sermon, you only listen. So it would
Yeah.
be probably the easiest way to get someone to understand. It's almost like to hear someone say, I'm going to church tomorrow to get some blessing. They didn't say to give, and they didn't say to pray. They said to get. So it's a
Mm.
receiving place for me. And I don't go in
okay.
there to get my inspiration. It's my inspiration that brings me to that place. It's a different thing altogether. Like, take for
Mm.
instance, I started writing the song. And as I started writing the song, I was holding a shovel in my hand because I was looking for something in the ground. And I'm holding the shovel in my hand and I'm looking for this thing. And then all of a sudden, here's this thing saying to me that I'm reaching out, I'm searching, I'm desperately searching because you know what? It was physically what I was doing. I was searching for something that is to what I am doing because I don't want to break it. It's on the ground and I'm going to run and I don't want to break it. So can you imagine? So here is the vibe, taking it from the idea of my physical work and saying to me, put this metaphorically. And here's where you need to go to do it. You need to be in this quiet place so I could tell you how. And so I do that. Okay, watch this. In the kitchen washing dishes. This is now another way of telling you how this happens. I'm standing in front of the sink and I'm washing a sink full of dishes. Okay, and all of a sudden, this is what came to me. Sat up on a job site the other day. Just a work and a listen what the youth them around me did I say. Now, I'm standing in front of the kitchen sink, bro. I'm not at work. So it's not physical in that manner. But I am at work because I'm working on washing some dishes. And all of a sudden, I'm listening to the voices that are telling me what needs to be portrayed here and now. So you see, it seems weird, but it's a parallel. It's a parallel. It's something happening and it says, hey, come here. Come here, let me whisper something to you. And 10-star general say you better record this because if you don't, it's gone.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you're very much in tune with your whole being, you know, like the inner voice within you. You know what I mean? That
Yes, I do.
is eager to express itself. You know,
Yes.
and
You know,
that's
it allows
that.
me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It's just there's a
Mhm,
slight delay here. It allows for me to reason with the man. And that is the
mhm,
reason that I don't change. You see this person when you sit on your chat right now? That's just him.
mm,
There is no facade. I'm gonna put on a
mhm,
style, no slang, no nothing. It's just me. That's what you see is what you get. And so
mhm,
what that allows me to do is to hug my child right in the midst of whatever it is that I'm doing without having to
mhm,
come down off of the high and
mm,
then go hug my child. Then come back
mm,
and pretend who may I pretend to be in front of 10-star
mm,
General and Sharon Mango. No, no, no,
mm,
no. The same person.
yeah.
And even for sure, you, if they're walking right now and they see me like this, okay? And my child,
Mm,
they understand. My daughter will come over and just put on a kiss on my cheek and you understand because we are like that. Because daddy is not daddy sometime, you know, daddy is
yeah.
daddy all the time.
all the
It's
Right.
only
time.
that's how it works, and they will understand and appreciate if they walk through the door and they realize that I'm gesticulating and I'm doing all of this stuff with my hands and I'm talking, so it looks like I'm having a conversation, or they might hear you. They will also
Mm,
go, and you get the little sweet little, you know what I'm saying, from over
yeah.
there, and them just know that's what it is, and that's where it's at. And they keep it quiet. They
Yeah.
don't come in and make up no holy panais when I'm doing this type of thing. And so it's a
Right.
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. Believe me.
Where does your consistency and lack of not willing to compromise yourself come from?
It
Mm.
comes from the will of my mother. She has always wanted her children to succeed because she was a teenage mother. And so, with that said and understood, uh, she didn't want us to start being responsible too early for another life. What she
Mm,
wanted us to do is lay down a foundation, because I hear this all the time growing up, brother. I hear this from my mother and my grandmother. Find a place to put your head before you find a place to push your.
Yeah,
See what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So that is a
Yes,
very,
no.
and to this day it resonates with me. You see what I
yeah.
mean? And so for us, it was a thing that the drive to try to take another step and not
Mm,
end up in this forced poverty, because here you are, barely can feed one more, but you have to feed three. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
That was a
mm,
thing
Yes.
that was always in the back and say, yeah, man, play like a football and have like a fun, man. But you want to take up the
mm,
gambling. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever it
mm,
was, that was always there. And then you go back to mom's, hey, listen, yo, you know, so you can't, yo, mom Deuce gonna be disappointing, little brother. If you ever
yeah.
do that, mom Deuce, you have a mash, you want to mash up mom Deuce, brother, you can't do that. And it kept
Mm,
me driving in the right direction just by remembering. And it
right.
still keeps me moving in that direction to see the light in her eyes. You
Yeah.
understand? Can you imagine? to see the light in your mother eyes and know, so yeah, she feel comfortable knowing, so she never visit you in her jailhouse, ever, not once, ever, never, ever police call her as a come for her boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you another question. Um, Before I do that, let me do this. Big up to each and everyone who's just joined us. If you're just joining us for the first time, please help us to like and subscribe. All right. Please help us to like and subscribe. If you're enjoying the conversation, just help us to hit the subscription button, or is it the tick? What is it, Sharon? Is that tick, right?
Notification bell. Hit that notification bell.
Notification. Yeah.
Subscribe and share. To get these
All
amazing
right.
stories, because we have DeVare here telling us, listen, man, you're dropping some jewels today. And I said it,
Thank you.
I know about you, I know about you today.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ted, go ahead. I just say that.
Big up Patricia Morgan, who's here. I can see Natalie's in the building. Thank you, Natalie, for making this happen. Thank you, Marsha, for being here. Alifa Lowe, great singer out to the USA. She's here. And we have also King Natiman down there in Kenya. Big up to everybody else whose names I cannot say, who's logged in. Thank you for being here. We're speaking to the phenomenal singer-songwriter, DeVare. All right. I want to take him down memory lane, because I do believe this next song I'm going to feature, because I want to talk about this song before the show is over. It's a deep song. It's a deep love song. I do urge everyone to get themselves a copy of this particular track. It's called Love's Natural High. I do want to speak about that particular song before we start talking about your first recordings and so forth. But let me just go into my little catalog and do this. Take a listen to this, ladies and gents.
10-star General and Sharon Mango.
This love was meant to be, and since we knew it all along, we built this thing strong and fill it with a memory. Now just look at you and me, as close as we could be here on Love's
The Live Conversation Show.
Some said it couldn't last and tried to taint us with our past, but we just walk on by. So many tried to break us down, but we held on, that's why we're still around. I believe in you and you believe in me. Nothing stays the same, but our love will remain to pass the test of time, just as long as I am yours and you are.
The Live Conversation Show.
Yo, let me tell you something.
That groove they do.
Oh, Jesus. That is the ultimate love. Listen, there's two people who've impacted me with love songs. One of them is my brother Warrior King. He has a brilliant love song right out there. You are the next person to impact me with a love song. Love's Natural High. Oh, Jesus.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, brother.
Oh, that's just a little sneak. You need that. Listen, if you don't have that tune, you need to just go into iTunes, type in DeVare, DeVare, look for Love's Natural High and purchase that song. DeVare, talk to me. Talk to me.
Yeah, man. Well, all right. So you see, what happens is, and I'm sure Sharon Mango can relate to this because she ain't 12 years old, isn't she? You understand? So no disrespect or anything like that, but I need to say this on a woman's behalf, right? what really happens is that men have a tendency to be incapable of showing their emotion outwardly. We have a tendency to feel like in order to show you how much we care or appreciate you, we need to purchase you an item. Okay, so Valentine's Day just gone. Whole heap of relationship mash up because some people never get no something. You understand? Whatever it was. You've got some people that them will actually come out and say, big up Pat Morgan, you don't know. Them will actually come out and say, when they see you down the street, hey, Sharon Mango, what you give me for my birthday? It's all that physical thing. Okay.
Yeah.
But yet, I just came up out of a surgery that basically, look at this now. This surgery put me down for 6 weeks. And you know, every turn me turn, physically turn, as Sharon Mango did actually turn me. She had to clean me and keep me sanitary and do all of this, okay, for a period of time. We're going to just say for 3 months. And then now I'm on my feet. And the first thing me thinks I'm going to buy her some shoes and a purse. Instead of actually letting her know how much I appreciate her taking me through one of the worst, darkest parts of my life. Okay? I said that to say this. Songs like this are like that greeting card. The one that you buy blank, 10-star general. You buy blank and you write down how you feel about the next person. So it's almost to say the songs that I write in that manner. Remember, I told you, I don't go listen rhythm and try for force and lyrics to it, brother. It's a different thing for me. It comes to me in a very unique way. You see what I'm saying? So with that said, I take a lot of time in my music to speak to the appreciation of our women. Because a lot of people want to say Sharon Mango, and I swear they can't. They don't know the words. Them tie up them tongue, them really can't say it. So with that said, here and now, just so you know, Sharon Mango, I appreciate you. That is what I'm saying. Not afraid to say it any which way, any loud and clear.
I'm not afraid to say it too, Sharon. I appreciate you too.
There
Not
you
just a
go.
good
That's what
party,
I'm talking about.
You see, you set a trend.
There you go. That's how you do it, trendsetter.
Yeah, man. Set trend is a beautiful
Yeah,
song,
man.
brother. I have to
Thank you.
I have to tell you. I do know about a year ago, again, there was a brother who was featuring you, and it was the first time I'd heard your name, and then, later on, Natalie came along and then said Davari, and that's where it connected. Davari, I've heard that name before, and then I look into my catalog because I'm trying to recognize where I've seen the name before, and that's where it twigged that because of what I heard, it made me go straight into iTunes to purchase that song.
I appreciate that.
I'm in a habit of really trying to take us back to a time where songwriting really meant something, so we do not lose the art of songwriting. And it's really a great thing to come across a person who because to me, what I see on the outside is like you just expressed. I can hear that here is a man who took time to sit down and write some song, and it's coming from a good place.
Yeah, man.
Again, I can look at you and I'm hearing your story, and coming across to me, there's nothing fake about what you're saying to me,
I know
and
how to do that.
the great thing, even though I don't know you, right, and I'm meeting you for the first time, right, I can believe that what you're saying to me is the truth because I'm hearing it in your songs. I haven't heard, 'cause I bought a whole load of your music, right, and I haven't heard you compromise yourself one time,
No, some
and
don't
that's
know
a
if you do
great.
that one. Natalie will tell you this. Funny enough, and Natalie, by the way, just so you know, and even though I've said this a million times, I appreciate you, woman. I do. And you know that. And I'm saying it again, Natalie, I appreciate you. Yeah. What happens, is that as you're saying this to me and I'm looking back and I'm trying to see from the other side, sometimes when you're soul searching, you step out of self and you go on the other side and you become the devil's advocate and you ask yourself some weird questions about things and you look at it from a different perspective that way. You see what I'm saying? And as you ask about the song and its properties. The first song that I released was a song that I was at work as well, and it's the weirdest thing that happened with people, and I realized things about people. And one of the main things that I realized is that people who love talk will always have something to say, And so I said that because in as much as we're sitting here and we're talking about stuff, and you're speaking and learning my appearance and how I approach things, some people are sitting somewhere trying to tear all three of us right here down right now. They're sitting there under some negative thing, and them and I them. You understand? And I look at like that and listen to you talk, and I go, people are gonna talk about this love that we've found, and all the people gonna try to get you down, but I don't care what people say. I'm gonna love you anyway. I don't care about the games they play, cause this your love is here to stay. Yo, I don't care what people say. I'm gonna love you anyway. I don't care about the games they play. Sharon Mango and 10 Star are here to stay. You know what I mean? So it's that. It's natural. It's natural. There is no powder on the panda one, brother.
Yeah. So tell me about your first recording, how you got into the studio, and how the succession of recordings continue to happen.
Okay, so that song that I was just singing just now was my first recording, but it really and truly wasn't the first song that I wrote, but it was the first time that I was actually working on putting music to lyrics. So the thing was that
What was that on the international? Was that on the independent label? I should say.
yes, it always was. So
Okay.
I went and I
Okay.
pounded the pavement in Kingston, Jamaica, looking for a suitor. One of my biggest negatives that was that I do not go and ask to listen to some rhythm and then do some songs like that. Right. So I didn't find myself with that gift at the time. I didn't really see it happening. So I approached the thing from a different way. See, producers wanted me to come there. Them really have a bunch of rhythm turn up my ears, me run lyrics on that, leave, and them call me and give me $100. You know what I mean? I wasn't with that type of thing. So as this time was passing, I realized that I have to take this on my own. So I met up with a friend. His name is Davin Thomas. Big up Davin. We're still friends to this day. He's like my son. And we met up at a studio because he was a keyboard player. He was a session musician. And we sat there and we were like, yo, you have to do this on your own. And I was like, okay, but we don't have space. We got to pay. We got to pay for space. We got to do all of this stuff and blah. He goes, yo, I have a computer, this and that and blah. The next thing you know, there's a keyboard and there's 2 monitors and there's the software. And we started out right there, just like that, on his front porch. We call it Jamaican veranda. I remember I went and I bought a tarp because the rain come from one direction all the time. So I buy a tarp, right? And I tie it up on the grill, tie up the tarp on the grill. And it's the same side the breeze come from, So you can just imagine it get really hot when I forgot to buy a fan, right? So we're doing this thing. And all of a sudden, someone offered us some space that these guys used to use to rehearse, and they got bigger and moved on from that space. And so they offered us that space. This is in 2011, okay? When that space got offered, I put some money together, and by May of 2012, the studio was finished. Everything shipped down, everything done. You understand? Because like I said, I went first to secure my financial future. So it wasn't so much to go feed in the dark and beg nobody anything. It was only a matter of buying the equipment and bringing it. And we did this together. There was no professional engineer. There was no professional carpenter or physical. But I'm an engineer, so it's like I did all of this. And we built this place together. Every screw, every nail, all of this stuff. It was me and David. And we did it together. And then it was time for us to start recording. By now, we are just emerging out of the recession, the Great Recession, right? 2012. So by around 2013, 2014 or so, we're kind of recovering. So I'm working more now, physically in the field, working more now, right? So it took me until 2016 before that song actually came out because I'm a perfectionist. So I wasn't willing to just do something Make it chaka chaka. You remember you mentioned something to me very important, 10-star general. You said to me that you have not seen the quality drop. I don't condone ideology. I feel like you set the bar, and once you set the bar, you maintain the bar. You don't let it fall. You maintain it. You build a structure around that bar so that bar stays where it's at. And so, over the years, that's what I've done. That's where the consistency come from. Because even though a song might be born this morning, if it's not ready for the road, it ain't going nowhere. It could sit right there. Right there, because I am not looking, like I said, to be the next big anything. What I'm looking at is to be good at what I do and to master my craft so that it can be appreciated. That's some of that.
Yeah. And it's nice to hear that. You know, I remember interviewing, because your mindset kind of reminds me of President Brown. President Brown is a roots and culture singer that I admire a great deal. As a matter of fact, I look at him as one of the greats who doesn't get the respect that he deserves. Now, he's a person that he's in no hype. He ain't in no rush. The way he explains it is he's sprinkling his talent, you know. And there's a song by Sugar Miner. It says, "Sprinter, stay a long distance runner." Some people are sprinting with their creativity, but not really coming with any substance. And those who are sprinkling will outlast. You see where I'm coming from? And you kind of remind me of that mindset. Also, you know, with your mindset, it allows me to like, for instance, you're showing me how to move with you, right?
Yes.
Because of your mindset, because of your production, because of the quality of music you're coming with, I can now say, okay, I'm moving with this brother because what I hear is great stuff, you know?
And it's consistent.
So,
Yes.
and it's consistent, you know, which is exactly what you need in this industry. Is more quality over, or is it substance over hype? You know, is
Substance
the
over hype.
word.
Come on.
You understand?
Quality over
So I
quantity.
implore you to just continue to move in that vein. You know what I mean? Because it's actually working for you, most
Yeah, man, I
definitely.
appreciate that. I appreciate
With
that.
a song with the enormity, and I say it's enormity. Now, my first question is, when you recorded Love's Natural High, what kind of media attention did it attract?
Well, it was in the early days, and the truth is that I didn't know what to do. I haven't gotten there yet. So when I recorded it, me and Davin, he got an opportunity to go to Mexico, and the opportunity was great because where he was, it was falling apart in a lot of ways. There was a lot of negative.
Okay, I think he's frozen.
Frozen there.
Yeah,
Okay, we're back. Yeah.
Yes. Start again.
All right. Yeah, so I was saying that my friend Davin, he had gotten the opportunity to go to Mexico, and it was for music, and it was a big deal because the surroundings around him in his home life were falling apart. And so I implored him. I was like, go make a life for yourself. And he's still there, and he's made a life for himself, and I'm really proud of him, right? Like I'm telling you, he's like my son, like my little brother. So what happened is that when this was happening, I said, okay, here's what. If we have a ton of songs on the hard drive that we can't do anything with, then we won't get anywhere. We need to find an avenue. We need to find a way how to get it out of here. Now, Sharon, you're familiar with St. Thomas. It's country. It's not the deepest of country, but it's country. It's not the city. And I'm not a city boy, as I said earlier. So now, how do I take that step? Okay. And I was like, I'm gonna find that way. So now it was a journey to learn how to get the music to market. That was a journey. So when I started off seeking the way, and the first thing I learned was that you've got to pay for press coverage. So I did that. I paid for some press coverage. I got in the Star, whatever papers in Jamaica, a couple magazines and whatever. And then I realized how the process works. It's everything from there moving forward. You've got to pay. You've got to pay. And the price gets higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. And so I was like, okay, now I need to find a way to have a marketing budget. this is what I need to do. This is what needs to happen in this business. And so I started off with that, and I started using the internet to help me because I did not have that wad of cash. I'm no drug dealer, and I did not have this wad of cash to just run and go say, oh yeah, I could give some street guy $20,000 and he'll have my song on every station hour, you know. So I started doing that, and along the road I met Natalie. That's why I appreciate her so much. She was the first person who took it from me, because I learned something, 10-Star General. This is what I learned. I learned that if you yourself as the artist goes out and try to find your way into the airplay system and stuff like that, you can easily get blacklisted. They think you are greedy, you don't have a team, you don't want to pay anybody to do anything, and so you will get blacklisted like that, quick. And so it was good to hand the baton to someone else, and she took it from there, and it was all over by the shouting. I was a no one, okay, and I rose right within the ranks of every name that was being called from 2020 coming straight down until today. And so I have always tipped my hat to this woman, because she put a lot into doing this, and she has met a lot of negative along the way. My grandmother said, the higher the monkey climbed, the more he exposed. And so they always, you know, it's amazing to consider both of you being people who are having a conversation to the world, and not mention how me and Natalie are connected outside of music. I've had someone ask me this question 4 times on a morning show, 4 separate times, trying to wonder if we're taking each other's clothes off. And I'm sitting there like, wow, that's all you can think of? And every time he would go into something else and come right back to the same question, and it was ridiculous. But that is how it goes. And a lot of negative came in, you know, both our directions, because it is, you hear about, in one not to leave all kinds of stupidness that I can't, I don't absorb it, so I don't repeat it. But that's how it goes. And my focus is on music, and I think hers is as well. And we do well together. As you mentioned earlier, for her consistency, I have that consistency, and I appreciate hers as well.
Yeah. And that's wonderful to hear, because that does come with a lot of negativity, right, Sharon?
It does.
And that's
as I was about to say, I said, that just
can you see the sign of the cross? We're opposed to it too.
So we rebuke that, because I'm sorry, but I have to comment on what you just now said, because it just shows that she's still not given. I don't like to hear that they're still not giving her respect for what she does. She's good at what she does. Why does she have to be sleeping with the man? Why? Because she's trying to do what she feels that she's doing naturally and well. Why does it have to be sexual? She's a brilliant woman. She knew how to make it work. And then again, that's what they do with us women in the business, right? There has to be some sexual connotation that is related to the woman if she's trying to help the man move up. That's some bull shit. Pure bull shit. And it's sad.
You know what's cool about it, you know, is that you hear this, and it's a part of that. It's a part of that. What do you call it? Misogynist. It's a part of that, because you hear behind. What kind of behind every successful man? Rubbish. Right there beside him. Right there. That's where she is. And sometimes she's got to take lead, because his confidence got knocked over by somebody else somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And men, with us, we have this thing that's called virility. That we, when you bruise our ego, you know, some of the time it's hard for we to get back up. You understand? And sometimes it require her to be in front of our face, reaching her hands out and picking us up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not believe that behind every success. No, sir. Right. That's how that successful man is a strong woman. I saw it go because 3 of them raised my brother. You get me now?
Yeah. And that's the beauty, you know, because as long as you continue, you and Natalie, right, continue to show that consistency, people eventually are going to get it, you know, because coupled with everything you do in life has got to be coupled with consistency. It's something
Yeah.
that even with what me and Sharon do on a daily basis, and it's something that we talk about also behind the scenes. Do you know what I mean? And from what we see, I personally don't like it. So I say, you know what, we just got to be consistent with what we do. There are times when I say, man, we can't bother with this again, because
But I with
why
this.
is everything to whatever and whatever and whatever? And
Yeah.
we just say,
Yeah.
okay, we just got to show that consistency. Let's just continue to drive it
Let the
through,
work speak for itself.
and
Yeah,
it's
man.
funny that you say, well,
Volumes,
huh?
when you make the work speak for itself, when you let the work speak for itself, it speaks volumes,
Yeah,
louder than all that noise of
It
the crowd
does.
make it.
precisely. Yeah, yeah. And I find Natalie to be an amazing person. Just to piggyback on what you're saying, just imagine she reached out to me since last year. Last year I think last year October, November. She's been drumming it into me about DeVare and whatever, and we've had decent conversations back and forth. And that's how it should be done. The question of sex and whatever shouldn't be the order of the day. So we just try to keep it decent and
True,
and,
true,
and
true,
show
true.
that consistency. So I guess we're all fighting out on the battlefield. But
We
Yeah, man.
all
what,
are.
mm,
Even me being in the business, I think that for myself, um, to be taken seriously. And I was doing my movements on my own. I managed three
mm,
bands, including my own. It was
mm,
work. It was the promotions. It was this.
mm,
It was that. By the same token, I
mm,
was sleeping with A, B, C, D, E, F, G. If it got to me after a while until I started laughing to be like, wow, wow.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
really, am I that powerful? So I say to Natalie, when you hear them sing there, sit back and be like, wow, am I that powerful? Yes, Queen, we are powerful. It is within us to keep the fight going. There is a lot of amazing women doing promotions and doing this. There's so many out there. And this
mm,
message is all stand firm, man. Stand firm, because when you meet people like DeVare, I am not saying that there aren't artists out there who would even try. Yes, it does happen. I'm not discounting it. There are artists out there who have a female counterpart who's helping them doing all those things, but they feel like they've got to be doing something with them. That's on
mm,
them, right? But when Natalie's blessed to have met you and sees that you're you're a real one.
Thank you.
mm,
You are a real one.
Thank
And
you. Thank you. Thank you.
not looking for anything else apart from, hey, I need help, blah, blah, blah. She saw where you needed the help.
yeah,
And she
yeah,
jumped in and did what she was supposed to do.
Yeah, man.
That's
That's a
big.
great place to pass the baton. That's one place where I could never, ever, ever speak on the word regret. There is no
mm,
way. And as a matter of fact, me lauding her right now, I think it's well deserved as well, because she
It
as a
is
person doesn't
deserved.
get it all the
It
time. She
is.
doesn't get it
It
all the
is.
time. And you get so much of the negative, and sometimes I feel so sorry for her because she tries so hard. And
mm,
even to consider, you have people that she reaches out to help to promote her artist, and the first thing they want to do is reach into her pants, and it's like she gets so
mm,
tired times, okay,
mm,
and they come
mm,
very blatant. They don't hold back. They come right
Oh,
out.
I
mm.
know.
You know what I mean?
Damn.
And then when she doesn't go in that direction, when the conversation doesn't lead
Mm,
in that direction, blacklist.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
And she's
true.
been dealing with
yeah,
that for years. Yeah. This is
yeah,
year 4.
yeah,
Yeah. This is
yeah,
year
Stand
4.
firm,
So,
because all of that,
it's tough.
yeah, it's real. It's tough. It's
yeah.
really tough. And again, I used to always let those things bother me because I had to do a lot of stuff on my own, certain movements. I know what it entails. Now I don't give a toss. Say what you
Mm,
want to say.
So what I
You
say,
know that it's not
hey,
true. Say what you
hey, let me
want to
let me
say.
give you the verse, Sister Shannon. Let me big you up on the verse. Yeah. People who love to talk will always have something to say, and it don't matter what you do, they're gonna talk anyway. Some make them go and run off their mouth. You Sharon Mango, you run around. So set up and go and flaunt your clout. And if them coming out your yard, just run them out.
See that?
Yo, that's a tune, brand new tune coming soon. You know,
Yes.
I can actually hear your voice in that opera kind of weird.
You know,
You
it's
ever
funny
put
that I have
that
Is that
opera?
you in it? That
I
sounds
have a
that.
daughter that
Listen.
she does that. She's got an operatic voice, man. You would never believe.
Who
Yeah, my
does?
last daughter, she does. My daughter, she's in
Ah,
college for as a matter of fact, she's moving into what is this called? Undergrad for
Oh
voice.
wow.
She's got these amazing
okay.
pipes, man. And that's what she
Wow. Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
we
It's
can see
amazing.
where that's coming from.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, now we see, but you know what it is? I
Yeah.
need to say this, though. I think that I have to say kudos to DeVare because your journey is your journey until you had your child. You made sure you had somewhere. And you were
Yeah.
blessed with a girl child, right? Is it one child you
Yes.
have?
No.
Yeah, that's a girl. Huh?
Yeah. This one particular one that we were talking about just now is a girl, and the first one was also a girl.
Right. A girl
Mhm.
putting you out. Do you
Mhm.
know the importance of you sharing that love to these girls? When remember now, a little girl's first love is her daddy, you know.
Lord of mercy, I remind me
Clearly,
about that day.
as you clearly stated in the beginning, how you are.
You want me to tell you a secret? Watch this, right? Just watch. Look at my position. See, I'm sitting upright in the chair now. This is me leaning back. Same chair. The chair just leans back, right? Suppose I tell you that you see that song that you love so much, 10 Star General. Okay? Listen to this. Listen to me really carefully. So many tried to break us down, but we held on, that's why we're still around. I'm going to tell you straight up. You see me leaning back like this? I put the chair back because I couldn't let my child jump on me and the chair go back because we could fall, you know? I turn around and she's coming through the door. And as she entered, daddy, 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 daddy. And she runs, man. You hear me? She takes off full forward. And I try to put one foot back to kind of stop the chair. And she jumps right in my lap. And we're sitting there. She goes, what you doing? You hear what Sharon said? You hear how she come up? What you doing? You know? And she's there. And I'm struggling in this place to come up with how I want to say something.
Yeah.
And I put both hands around my child and I start rocking back and forth. And just as I'm sitting there, I'm like, you know, a lot of people never really get this in a man. They don't get this in them. A lot of man just send a little money, go get a woman in a brother. Them not get this in them. Them not get this. They don't get this. And right there is where that line come. We held on. That's why we're still around. That's how the line. So, like I'm saying to you, it's amazing the journey that you take when you pay attention. When you pay attention to self, when you look in the mirror and who you see looking back at you is one person you can never fall out of love with.
Yeah.
It's very important to understand how this works because it has to come from the inside to go through to the outside. You understand?
Yeah.
Like you can't really fix a leak if you have a big old tank and it start leaking, brother. You ever notice nobody not patch tie up on the outside? You patch it on the inside. So it's from the inside. So once your light is on your inside, it shine right through. You see me say? I'm a father of 3 girls. I have 3 girls pitney. I have something I have 3 girls pitney. I tell you this. What Sharon Mango just said to me a while ago. You see me go so? Because it's big. It's big. Because them make sure this man walk the straight and narrow in a particular way as well, you know. Because me don't really want to talk to my daughter them from behind the bars, King.
Right.
Understand that? No one speak to none of them at no time for no reason from behind no bars. So they are intricate. What she just mentioned just now, as a father, I said that if him daughter them first love a daddy. Yo, no question behind that. No question, no ask behind that. Three of them have, and a 3 time experience it personally on a one-on-one level. So know that is correct.
Yeah.
It's so important for that narrative to be spread worldwide, because again, I treat girl those young ladies will do big things in the world because of daddy. I'm not saying mommy wasn't involved, but you are a very intricate part, and I see that keeps you grounded too. You said something in the very beginning.
Yes, man. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. The big bright smile come out because of them, man. All day, every day. Man, I tell you, 10-star general, the big bright smile come out because of them all day, every day. No matter where I'm at in the world and what I'm doing. And when I think of them, believe me, it appeases me, man. All the pressures and the stresses, they have to go, because those are a big part of what I live for. And even my sons, it's also all good with them, you know, but I'm just saying there's a different connection, because I had to also learn in the Sharon. I had to learn how to not be jealous over my son and their mother. You understand? Because a mama's boy, and then guess what I find out? And I'm gonna tell the world, so you might as well just start laughing from now on. I'm a mama's boy too.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
Clearly. I think we developed already. Listen, you was the one talk about the words that still resonate when mama and grandmama did tell you.
Oh, you mean?
Yeah.
Real dogs, 10-star general, I can't hide it. I just take the beating for that one, brother. I'm a mama's boy.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, let's progress with this conversation. So I tell you what, before we move on, I want to play another song. And it's another song that kind of resonates with me. Take a listen to this. Let's see, here we go.
Greetings. We are Push Art, and you're listening to S.P.R.B. Radio Podcast with 10-star General and Sharon Mango.
With my hair down in my eyes, and she says hi. As I stumble to the breakfast table, while the kids were going off to school, goodbye. She reaches out, take my hand, squeezes it and says, and as I look across her smiling lips, it warms my heart to see my morning sun. If that's not loving me, then all I've got to say, Jah didn't make the little green apples, and it don't rain in Indianapolis in the summertime.
Why, DeVare with a big tune there.
That song. Yeah, it's
hits, couple hits. Listen, that's another tune that resonates with me. I absolutely love that particular song, the way you delivered it. It's a good rendition, a very, very, very good rendition.
Yeah.
And you seem to have a knack for having, it sounds to me you're on a roll. You know what I mean?
Here's how this whole thing. I have an album and it's called Reflections. Reflections is actually a part of a statement, but the rest of it is left to the imagination. It's reflections of how it used to be. And this album, I decided to put 12 of my parents' songs together, songs that they would listen to. Because I have this thing about, the family environment for me. You see, if you step into my car, you see me drive down the road and me see 10-star general walk and I say, yo, brother, I got studio, and I say, jump in. I shouldn't have to change the music because it might offend him. I remember I say, yo, I don't really want to ride in the car. You see the music the way I play on my thing. You understand?
Thank you.
So if my mother walk in a car, if my daughter, my son walk in a vehicle, or in my room wherever I'm playing music or whatever, I shouldn't have to
Mm.
change the music in
Mm-hmm.
order to come to a level of decency. Like I said before, what you see is what you get.
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
what I wanted to do before my parents passed was to
Mm-hmm.
see to it that I did something that they can listen to, that they can hand to a friend and say, you know, say my son to them sang up on a CD here, or something like that. And so I put
Yeah.
12 songs together that I know that they would appreciate. And one of the songs, which is the one you just played just now, Little Green Apples, is one of my father's favorite songs. So I had to do that. Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And I love what you're saying there. Because you shouldn't have to run for the volume button and say, "Oh God, turn down the
Mm.
music." You know,
Yeah, right? Yeah.
or have to change the music, and that's what I love. I remember telling George Nooks the very same thing when he said that he made a promise to his grandmother to always keep a particular standard, and it's
Yeah,
nice to
man.
hear another artist with the same values saying the same thing. So
Amazing.
we
I didn't even
applaud
know he
and
said that.
salute
Yeah,
you.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Hats
man.
off to John
Yeah,
Moose for that, man. Yeah, man. Big up, big up. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Sharon, over to you.
Yes, sir. I was trying to remember my last word I was going to say to him. I think that something that he said in the beginning, your reasoning for even doing the music is not even about the fortune and the fame. It literally is your love for it, the message that you get when you're creating these songs. You know what I mean? Which
Hmm.
everything in its place and time, I'm
Yeah.
saying. Just
Yeah.
like how we were supposed to, 10 Star was supposed to, he got the information, we're supposed to bring you on to do the show. Yeah, but that's timing. Nothing before
Mm,
the time.
Nothing before its
And I
time.
think
Yes.
that
Everything
for
in its place
you,
in its time. Correct. This is
everything in
mhm,
correct.
its place and time. For
And I appreciate that.
you,
As a matter of
especially
fact,
how
I
your
want to
life
tell you,
is.
yeah, man, I want to tell you the level of conversation that we're having right now, okay, rivals any conversation anywhere without any one particular thing. Like, take for instance, you might have seen on these talk shows, right? When these stars do a movie, then they do the
mm,
talk show circuit. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
And they try to
mm,
push or promote whatever it is, and they speak about a little bit about themselves, and then they get into talking about this thing that they're trying to promote. And they go on every one of the major, at least the three major US channels, and they get to talking about this thing, and then they're gone again until the next movie, right? In this
mhm.
particular case, it's not like that. It's kind of like we're just, yo, what are you going with? It's far up on the corners, man. We could cook a pot of soup and just have a liquor chat. And that natural thing there, that natural
Yeah,
thing there, I was
yeah,
raised on this type of situation wherein it wasn't
mm,
about any one particular thing that we're trying to push nor promote. It was more
yeah,
about goal or reason with that person they're interested. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? And for me, even to move through life and still be able to do this, and in the position that I'm doing it from now, it's a big, big, big deal. So people like and subscribe to the channel. This isn't about me. This is about growing something that allows for people who otherwise wouldn't have a voice to get a
mm,
place where they can express themselves and be themselves. And with that said, I would love to again big up Sharon Mango, big up 10 Star General for understanding that knowing more about a person outside of the spotlight
mm,
is what actually makes the person who they really are.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you have this
mm,
thing, this facade thing we talk about earlier, and we put on, and everybody know you because of the whatever. And then there is
mm,
the real you. There's the real
mm,
you behind. I'm pulling that, or would you say, taking those scales off and getting to the nitty gritty
Mm.
of it. And reason it's a
mm.
big thing. It's not easy to do. It's not necessarily
Yeah,
easy to do because people are
yeah,
inarticulate. Them
yeah,
can't express themselves. You see what I'm
yeah,
saying? And a lot of people don't know how to draw that out. And then there's the
mm,
clash. Sometimes there's
mm,
the clash and the stars come out. And we know
mm,
so that's how it
mm.
goes.
Yes.
So, yeah, big up
Yeah.
on
Mhm.
yourself and what you guys are doing and lots of appreciation for that.
I think for speaking for both myself and Sharon, in everything we do is all about integrity, And just like yourself, DeVare, I'm unwilling to compromise myself to get the numbers and the likes or the whatever. I want things to happen organically, So our heart is in this 2000%, but also we're not in a race, you know what I mean? Because it's
Right.
about really highlighting those who really can sing, those who really can songwrite, you know. My joy comes from I play a tune like Love's Natural High, and I can be absolutely crazy and forget who's watching me 'cause I'm in a business. When a tune makes you happy, listen, let me tell you something. When a tune makes you like Love Natural High makes you feel great, right? You ever see a
Yeah,
big
man.
man cry before because they hear a tune that really affect them?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I tell
You
you,
ever see
man.
it? You really see it before?
Yeah, man. It's a big man shed tears, man. Yeah,
I
man. Yeah, man. I
will.
tell you.
I got me a travel.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Me say, woman put that. Me say, woman put a head upon the man shoulder and bring down for him head down for her shoulder because he's taller than her. And make him ball, man, because
Yeah.
him feel it. Him feel the music, and
Wow.
that's the one thing I tell people. I say, music transcends in the frequency. That's the highest frequency known to man. You understand?
Yeah.
It's the highest frequency that we can hear. And when it
Mm-hmm.
transpires, it can move every single emotion in human beings, every single one of them, positive and negative. You know what I mean? So it's good to know that I'm on the positive side and that it's reaching people in that way. You
Yeah.
understand? Because you have some people
Yeah.
that they just made up dark matter, dark matter, and that's it. There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing to reach, but they are them. So I'm saying,
Yeah.
and I don't let them distract me. I just focus on what I'm doing. And I have a
Yeah.
song that's called Stay for Keeps. And that is what it speaks to. It speaks to the
Mm.
idea that subliminally we have to deal with even long after you're gone. That guy that bad driving in the traffic, you have to constantly moving forward tomorrow, looking out for others like him or her,
Mm.
to deal with. So negative
Yeah.
will come. But you have to find
Yeah.
a way to stay
Yeah.
positive. And that's work. Like I said earlier,
Yeah.
that's a lot of work.
Mm.
Man,
I
need to
want to
pass
ask
the
you
mic.
two questions. I want to ask you two questions before we round up this conversation, and then I'll hand over to Sharon, and Sharon will sign us out. Um, I want to ask you, how do you tackle the business side of things, and is the business side of things working for you?
Okay, so as far as the business side of it is concerned, I have a publisher that gets the music out to the world, and I try my
Mm.
best to do the advertising from my side. The push comes from me
Mm.
to try to say, "Oh yeah, you can get the song here or there," and Natalie does
Mm.
the heavy lift as far as that is concerned. She'll
Mm.
get it out to
Mm.
radio stations, we'll play it, and we constantly are telling people, this song is available, and so on and so forth. Excuse me. As a matter of
Mhm.
fact, she does that 99% of the time, and I do it the other 1%.
Mm.
The thing that is required of me a lot of times is a dub, a jingle, stuff like that people could use
Mm.
to do a bit of promoting here or there, which
Mm.
helps with getting people to play the music. So that's
Mm.
where it comes from. I am not necessarily the person that does the heavy lifting. Natalie Lawrence does that, and
Right.
does a real good job at it. As far as the business working, what is mine and is there to get, I get it, because like I said, I have a publisher, so I don't have
Mm.
to go out there and do that. Okay, they're the ones that
Mhm.
get paid to do this, and they do a good job at it. They do the
Amen.
distribution, publishing, they do the
Amen.
collecting. I've been an ASCAP
Amen.
member since 2009. So,
Right.
all the mechanical royalties, everything is in
Yeah.
place as far as the business part is
Yeah.
concerned. And whatever comes from that's what comes from it. I don't
Mm.
look forward to it as to say, it's going to pay the mortgage or it's going to be what I used to pay
Mm.
my cost of living. Until it does, that's when it does. But
Mhm.
I have a 9 to 5 that sustains a decent quality of life, and it pays for the
Mm.
music for the time being, and that's good enough for me. I'll continue to do
Right.
it because message. It's something that I need to bring out of me. I can't just let it die inside.
Yeah, and you're showing the true essence of having a good team behind you, because when you have a good team behind you, it allows you to free up your mind to create, and I love that for you. You know. Hmm.
Precisely. Yeah, man. I appreciate that, man. It allows you shoulder room. It allows you wiggle room. And as I was
Hmm.
saying to you before, you have a lot of people who won't even listen to your music because they'll automatically think it not good just because you're the one pushing it. Because they must say, well, you have a fine time for that studio, if you push music on the
Mm.
road, if you do this, if you do that. And so they just chuck it in the bin. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Let's reach out to Sharon. Sharon, you do something called Sharon's Corner, right? So I'm gonna let you have the last word. I'm actually gonna do a flyer and a voice. What you call it? So it will sound something like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Sharon's Corner."
Yeah, yeah, love it.
Don't worry,
Oh
the
man.
flyer is coming and the voice is coming. So Sharon, it's your time.
All right. So Sharon's Corner. This is my moment of clarity. Like usually when we're interviewing an individual,
Hmm.
I always see much further than the surface, right? So
Okay.
meeting you here today clearly shows the individual, you, DeVare, as, let me put you in the light as one of the chosen ones. You have mastered the art of listening, sitting
Thank
down
you.
and listening. You have mastered that. The listening has allowed you to move accordingly. No
Hmm.
rushing, no jumping, to move accordingly and be grateful for everything around you that even affords your lifestyle. You just spoke about it just now. I've got my
Yeah.
9 to 5, but you're doing blah, blah, blah. You're comfortable. You're very comfortable with that. And I think that
Thank you.
that shows genuinity. That just shows real life. Let's put it this way, that's real life. And if you don't talk about these things, people will always, for those who's coming up, they think it has to be rushed. Not
Yeah.
everything has to be rushed.
Yeah.
Again,
Right.
time is of the essence and everything in its place and time. That is who DeVare is.
Yes.
That is who DeVare aspires to be, and very consistent with it. There is no change.
No. No. No.
There is no change. That's why those three beautiful girls are going to, you will see in this lifetime. I promise you, you will see in this lifetime how much of an impact those girls will be. And it will be based on your love and respect for them, always showing them,
Hmm.
I have time for you.
Yeah.
I
True.
got
True.
time.
Respect that.
Each and every one, I have time for you. So
Yeah,
that's my
man.
whole clarity about you, the individual. You take your time. Your words are chosen carefully. Words are power.
Yeah, man.
Words
I
are
told that to someone
power,
this
and
morning that
words
was struggling.
right.
I mentor this child from next door that her father died in an accident while on tour in I think he was a farm worker or something like that, and the mother
Wow.
struggled with alcoholism. And I was driving home one day, and this child, she saw me. It was about to rain, and she asked me for money to buy food. And I looked at her, I was like, don't I see you around here somewhere? And she's telling me her story. Anyway, she is now grown, and she texted me this morning, and she was telling me that a family member was putting her down so bad, and telling her that the only thing she's good for is she soon breed and this and that and all of this stuff, whatever is going on. And I said to her, I said, you need to be careful of the words that you let come out of your mouth, because of the words that somebody else let out of their mouth. Because you'll
Yeah.
never talk a cat into being a mouse,
Hmm.
and you'll never talk a mouse into being a cat. You'll never talk a house cat into being a lion, and you'll never talk a lion into being a house cat. So you have to understand that words have power, and not only the words that you hear, but the words that
Hmm.
you speak. So sometimes,
Hmm.
instead of lashing out, just let it roll right off of your back. Just let it roll right
Hmm.
off of your back, because it's easier for you to not hear and not respond, and the
Yeah.
person that's attacking you will sooner or later get bored and have to move on to something else. But the
Mm.
more you take this on, it's the more it's going to shape you, because you ultimately become a product of your environment, which is what Sharon is saying, that my children are going to be a product of their environment. And in a lot of
Mm.
ways, it's not only my girls, it's also that
Mhm.
once you have a bit of clout and someone else looks up to you, it's
Mm.
good show that you can lead without any ulterior motive. And that for
Exactly.
me is big. To even consider, Sharon owes me no obligation. We never met. We never seen each other at any point, not even on a video like this. And to listen to her speak to me in a way that says to me what I'm doing has something good in it, I have to continue. You asked me earlier in my virgin, you said to me, if there's anything that drives me and keeps propelling me forward, well, now I have someone else. Sharon Mango does as well. You understand? Because what she says, the words that she says, she first said they have power. She said they have power, and they do, and they resonate. And if I was to think that I would never like for Sharon Mango to pick up a newspaper and read something where in it it's saying that I am a disappointment, then it's going to drive me more forward positively. It's a man as a 10-star general. And so, woman,
Exactly.
again, I appreciate you. I need you to know that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We
Thank you. And
absolutely.
that concludes Sharon's Corner. That's what I do. Feel your spirit.
And that was the conclusion
Understand?
of
Look how
Sharon's
I got
Corner.
the things down. I feel you. Yes,
Yeah.
it's Sharon's Corner. Yes, feel your spirit, your energy, and I see who you are. It's basically I see you.
Thank you.
I see
Thank
you.
you.
So it's just much respect, much love and respect to you for what you're doing.
And as a man,
You're an inspiration.
you know,
Mhm.
thank you. So,
You are
10-star general, big that one, you know. And with that said, we've come to the conclusion of Sharon's Corner.
That is how we are. Listen, that's exactly how it's going to roll. Trust me. It's inspired by DeVare. Trust me.
Oh, yeah.
And so I mean, podcast is something we decided to get into, during the COVID period, when I decided to come back into the industry and continue from where I left off. This was something new that we decided we were going to do. And as we take baby steps, because there is a lot of things going on that has to be addressed behind the scenes. Nothing really bad, but just medical situations on my part. We have to step back, for a little bit. So we're not going to be in the building for a couple of weeks, maybe a few weeks, but hopefully once all is resolved, we'll be able to pick up from where we left off. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
there will be no shows from this point forward up until further notice. And we thank DeVare with all our art for coming on this show, expressing himself, being transparent about his life, seeing from where he came from to where he is today. He is one of the greats. I look at him as second to none. Just investigate his songs. Look out for Love's Natural High. That's number one on
Yes,
my
sir.
list. Okay. But investigate the rest. Little green apples. Look out for his EP as well, because he's got an EP out there. Yeah. He is. Here's my new word for DeVare. The bee's knees.
I appreciate that. And let me just drop this to all who I have a website, and it's devaremusic.com. And you can just go
Right.
there, you get all the social media details, and everything is there. Let me just thank my family for being the backbone of what I am, who I am, and what I do, and how I do it. And Natalie for being the mantelpiece. You understand? And all the people who support me. You see Pat Morgan sitting there. That's a great, great person. She has like this wonderful personality as well. And there's a lot of people out there who love me. And I've got haters too. And thank you, haters. You remind me that I'm relevant. You see what I mean?
That's
I
right.
want to also reiterate, get well soon, my brother. We all have our moments. We all have our moments of truth as well. And one of my moments of truth is that I hope you get better soon and you reemerge stronger. Okay.
Amen.
Sharon Mango, it's nice to meet you. It's nice to get your feedback. It's a beautiful thing to know that there are still good people out there. Okay. So again, I salute you guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Love, peace, and be well.
Thank you.
Okay, you too. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, man.
Ladies and gents, we are now going to exit the building. Before we do that, I want to bless up King Lorenzo, big singer out to the UK. And I also want to bless up my big brother. I saw him earlier, Mikey Jarrett, thank you for passing through.
Oh,
I
yes.
also want to bless up Leon from the Blackstones Water Group. They were passing through, also listening in. God bless you, Leon. And we are going to get out of here. I'm going to leave you with this particular song.
10-star General and Sharon Mango.
This love was meant to be, and since we knew it all along, we built this thing strong and fill it with a memory. Now just look at you and me, as close as we could be here on Love's
The Live Conversation Show.
Some said it couldn't last and tried to taint us with our past, but we just walk on by. So many tried and tried to break us down, but we held on, that's why we're still around. I believe in you and you believe in me. Nothing stays the same, but our love will remain to pass the test of time, just as long as I am yours and you are
The Live Conversation Show.